What's up, you filthy degenerates? Welcome to the second part of the first episode of Season Review, a show where I basically go over all the good and bad anime I've seen in a particular season, for this episode being the winter 2021 season. Like I've already said, this is the second part of the first video. The first video is already up on my channel, links in the description, so I recommend that you watch that video first, but if you want to watch this video first, it's not a problem at all. So without any further ado, let's begin. And let's start this video off by talking about Wonder Egg Priority. And honestly, the first episode of Wonder Egg Priority was so weird. In the first episode, we saw a talking toilet paper. Can't imagine wiping your ass with that. And a girl who hatched out of an egg. But there was something in this show that made me want to watch the next episode. And as I continued to watch the entire series, things started to become more clear and I was getting more interested in the plot and the characters of the show. And talking about the characters, the cast of Wonder Egg Priority is really good, which makes the show more interesting. And the story revolves around the girl Ai, who tries to bring her friend back to life. And I really like the concept of the show, and the show also had a message about the suicide cases of young girls, which was really good. The show was really good, but there was a few things I felt that I got a bit repetitive, but the ending was done perfectly, and it's a show that I strongly recommend if you have not watched it. And now, let's head on to the next anime. This season we had the second season of Dr.Stone, and I was really impressed by the first season, and the second season did the same. Dr.Stone is just a good show to watch weekly. It's really entertaining, and the second season showed us more about other characters like Tsukasa, who are not given much screen time in season 1. And it is really fun to watch. There's not much to talk about it. It's fun to watch Senku come up with a lot of stuff, from batteries to tanks to dynamites, and it was just similar to season 1, so I do not have anything else to say about it. Pretty much the same as season 1, a really enjoyable show. So yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next anime. Now it's time to talk about probably the most wholesome show on the internet, and that is Horimiya. It was just such a good show that it became the most watched first season of a rom-com anime on my anime list, beating Rental Girlfriend, and it also is the 12th most popular manga. But for some reason I never heard about this show until the anime was announced. What made me like this show compared to the other rom-com anime is that the main characters, Hori and Miyamura, start dating around the 4th episode, but in other shows the characters get into a relationship towards the end of the show. Most of the other rom-com anime shows the journey of the characters coming together to fall in love with each other. But Horimiya showed us more about the journey of the characters after they started dating, which was more appealing than a regular rom-com anime. And along with that, there were so many waifus in the show. In the show we have waifu number 1, waifu number 2, waifu number 3, and waifu number 4.
Make a JoJo's reference!
There's no time for a JoJo's reference!
There's always time for a JoJo's reference!
Alright, okay! I was making a JoJo's reference!
Oh no! Oh my god!
Horimiya had a couple of flaws which threw me off sometimes, but still, it is probably the most wholesome anime that I've ever seen, and it is just a really good rom-com anime to watch. Now, let's head on to the next anime. And 7 Deadly Sins. At the beginning, I was quite impressed with the animations, which is why I decided to make a video praising Studio Mavijack for their effort to improve the animations, and literally the very next episode they fucked up the animations. Seriously. But compared to season 3, it is still way better, and if they manage to pull off the animations till the end of the anime, I will probably enjoy the show. And speaking of the 4th season, there were so many intense fights and so many twists in the story, and so far season 4 is really good, and I hope they animate the rest of the show properly. And now let's head on to the next anime. Now this is probably the reason why you clicked on this video. Oh yes, we are going to be talking about Redo of a Healer. What the fuck was this show? I heard a lot of shit about the show on Twitter, people saying it was really close to a hentai, and when I heard of that, I expected this show to be something like Ishizoku Reviewers, which I really enjoyed, to be honest. But Redo of a Healer was just so much worse, and I did not expect it to be this messed up. This show is mostly about the R word. I'm not gonna say that out loud, but I hope you guys understand what I meant. And honestly, I would not have cared about it that much if it was in a hentai, cause come on, I would have directly skipped to the main part. Who watches the entire episode? But when I saw the full length episode as an anime, it was just something so awful. Especially the second episode. I just felt so awful watching this show. This show was just so horrible. And this show just changed the definition of heal. Heal abilities were completely absurd in this show. He was able to change people's face by healing them. He could erase people's memory using heal. He was also able to go back in time and use heal. Who is stronger, Goku or Saitama? Get that out of here. Who is strong, Goku and Saitama against Keiru? Of course Keiru is gonna win, just healing. But as time passes, the wall between anime and hentai is getting really thin. And what really differentiates a hentai from an anime? Because back in 2020 when Ishizoku Review was released, I was sure that it was the peak and there was no other show that could surpass Ishizoku Reviews in the ecchi tag. But now we have Redo of a Healer, which clearly surpassed it and has gone to a level which I never expected anime would go. And we cannot tell how far anime will go in the next few years before it is called a hentai. Hey guys, this video has been delayed for almost over a week. Don't ask me why, even I don't know the reason. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.